Graduates and guests, will you please rise for the academic procession? The candidates for master's degrees from the Graduate College have gathered to celebrate commencement. These proceedings are hereby called to order. I now welcome Dean Amanda Tyne of the Graduate College to the podium to begin our ceremony.
Hello and welcome. Everyone can be seated. Welcome to the University of Iowa Graduate College Master's Commencement Ceremony. I'd like to take this moment to invite graduates and guests to turn to the arena monitors to view a short video. Let's share a moment in celebrating Iowa.
I kind of fell in love with it that first visit and decided this is the place for me.
I mean, I thought it was like an easy choice.
I was born a Hawkeye. It's the only place I ever truly considered with my whole heart.
Iowa just has a fantastic program, very storied history.
Definitely a choice I do not regret.
Walking down the street, I see people that I know every day.
There's just something about the environment here that just really pushes you and helps you to achieve any goal possible.
Life isn't linear. There's always going to be ups and downs.
It's been hard. It's been difficult. You're here more than you're home.
There are people around me that also struggled in similar ways. Because of that, my friendships and relationships have gone stronger.
Mom and Dad, I love you. I want to thank you so much.
My parents, they moved homes. They worked so hard here. So I just have so much respect for them.
Just all the people who've supported me along the way.
My wife for picking up her life professionally and personally, and moving, 1,000 miles from home.
Thank you, Dr. Andrew Smelzer, for your constant support.
I would like to thank my wife, Laura, for supporting me through this.
This is over, but I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
I've wanted this for a long time. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I did it.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Tyne, and I'm Associate Provost for Graduate and Professional Education and Dean of the Graduate College. On behalf of my colleagues, I'm delighted to greet all of you who've gathered here today to celebrate this important occasion. It's wonderful to be in person again. Graduates, I know it's been a long road. You've persisted through the highs and lows that come with earning a master's degree, and you've done so during a global pandemic. This is a truly phenomenal accomplishment that should make you very proud. I'm so excited to be able to participate in this ceremony with you this evening. one that marks a very special and significant moment in your lives. I know I speak on behalf of so many of my colleagues at the University of Iowa when I say that we can't wait to see what you'll do next. We know you'll take all that you've learned at Iowa as you go out into the world and do great things. You are our best and brightest. We are counting on you because the future of our country and the international community to which so many of you belong depends to a large extent on your knowledge and expertise to help solve local and global problems today and into the future. We depend on you because we know the critical role you will play in advancing future knowledge, innovation, economic development, arts, healthcare, and education, to name just a few of the areas where you have expertise. And perhaps most importantly, we're relying on you to be leaders in the kind of critical thinking that fosters complex problem solving and a path toward global understanding. The next phase of your lives will bring new challenges and opportunities. I remember how I felt at my master's commencement ceremony. I was so excited for the future, but I was also a bit terrified. Did I have the skills and knowledge I would need to succeed? I want to assure you that you do have the skills and knowledge you need. The accomplishments of your graduate careers that have come to fruition today have prepared you to move forward to face the opportunities and challenges the future holds with newfound confidence and perseverance. Friends and family, I'm happy you're here as well. You've encouraged and supported these graduates through the exciting but often stressful process of earning a master's degree. Your devotion to them is so important. We are pleased that you're able to celebrate with us today. Before we begin the formal ceremony, I'd like to pause to recognize a few individuals sharing this experience today. Ahead of the ceremony, we've enjoyed music from the Iowa Brass Quintet. Members of the quintet are Amy Schendel, Steve Wheeler, Katie Ambrose, Todd Schendel, and Jean Reyna. Thank you for sharing your talents with us today. Epiphany Davis and Robin Heiken are serving as the American Sign Language interpreters for our ceremony. They will be interpreting most portions of the event, but because of the number of graduates, they will not sign the graduates' names. I'd also like to introduce you to my colleagues on the stage who are here to help us celebrate. I would request that each of you stand when introduced. First, I'm thrilled to have Provost Kevin Kriegel on hand to assist me in the conferral of the degrees. I'd also like to recognize collegiate leadership on stage. Shelley Campo, Associate Dean, Graduate College. Steve Varga, Associate Dean, Graduate College. Pamela Wesley, Associate Dean, College of Education. Clark Stanford, Dean, College of Dentistry. Christine Getz, Associate Dean, College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Maggie Chirazi, Associate Dean, College of Public Health. Barrett Thomas, Associate Dean, Tippie College of Business. Saralta Peterson, Associate Director, International Programs. And Katie Ron, Creative Media Specialist, International Programs. We're also pleased to have several individuals acting as marshals for today's ceremony. Heidi Arbisi-Kelm, Assistant Dean, Graduate College. Lindsay Maddock, Departmental Executive Officer, School of Library and Information Sciences. Jacob Olson, Director of Graduate Studies, Biostatistics. And Stephen Cummings, Clinical Associate Professor of Social Work. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Haley Harvey. A section chief and director of dental education at Broadlawns Medical Center in Des Moines, Haley has been a champion for increasing access to dental care and improving the oral health of underserved populations. Haley came to the University of Iowa and discovered a passion for improving oral health and access to care for at-risk and rural populations. After earning 2 degrees at Iowa, Haley, who served for a decade in the Army National Guard, provided dental care to at-risk populations in Michigan. Haley returned to Iowa as the Public Health Dental Director for the Iowa Department of Public Health, which then led her to Broadlawns. She has helped the medical center establish a $24 million facility with 22 operatories, 6 of which are for intramural rotations of University of Iowa dental students. Through her work, Haley ensures that future generations of dentists will have a solid understanding of disparities facing Iowa's low-income populations. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Harvey.
Thank you, Dean. Hello, I am Haley Harvey, a proud alum of the University of Iowa College of Dentistry, earning my DDS and Master's in Dental Public Health in 1994 and 96, respectively. I stand before you having answered the call and challenge of telling you about my time at Iowa in 5 minutes or less. Thankfully, I am no stranger to challenges. In fact, while yet in elementary school, my father challenged me to read A Tale of Two Cities. In truth, it was more of a challenge to read than anticipated. Fortunately, Dickerson said it all in his opening paragraph, where he penned in part these words: "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the age of belief, and it was the epic of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us." Friends, my time at Iowa was just like that. 1990, my freshman year of dental school, marked the beginning of forging relationships and building networks that I continue to draw on today. That time also included the challenges of gross anatomy, negotiating the Socratic method of teaching, and learning dental terminology. All that occurred simultaneously against the backdrop of the beginning of the Gulf War, followed by what can only be likened to Lemony Snicket's series of unfortunate events. In 1991, while in sophomore dental lab, Iowa went on lockdown because of an active shooter on campus. July of 1993, it rained almost every day, resulting in what is now referred to as the Great Floods of '93. And during my senior year at the U.S. Figure Skating Championship held in my hometown of Detroit, Michigan, fellow figure skater Nancy Kerrigan was attacked by associates of fellow U.S. competitor and companion Tanya Harding. In 1995, the first year of my master's program, the Oklahoma City bombing occurred, followed by the North American blizzard of 1996. Hawkeye Nation, the Hawkeye State, and world were forever changed and transformed in some way by these events. Much like the past 2.5 years for you, negotiating your education during a global pandemic while prompting societal changes and coping with the ever-presence of the threat of war and/or economic crisis. In short, your time, like mine, was fraught with challenges. And while I would love to offer assurances that the challenges before you will be blunted or minimized as you embark on the next part of your life's journey, regretfully and in truth, as new graduates, you will be confronted again and again with personal and professional challenges. In fact, inevitably, you will be underappreciated, under-resourced, and I dare say, underestimated. However, I can assure you that the fact that you are here today confirms that you are primed, proofed, and uniquely prepared to meet these inevitable challenges head on. And I am not just speaking to the high achievers among you, but to every last one of you, regardless of where you landed in your class ranking. Your passion, persistence, and perseverance has propelled you to this day, earning you the privilege of being numbered among other notable Iowa alumni, such as artist Elizabeth Catlett, author T.C. Boyle, health educator Dr. Mary D. Nettleman, and now you. So, my forever Hawkeyes, in spite of the inevitable backdrop of chaos and challenges that will confront you, trust that you are empowered to become great leaders and influencers in your respective fields and in this world. This day, you impressed me as a group that will never turn away from a challenge. So my challenge to you is to own your previous challenges, excel in your new ones, and aim to challenge the status quo at the next level of your journey. Lastly, with everything before you, remember to tell your story about your time at Iowa and to answer the call to be engaged in some capacity with this great university going forward. Congratulations, 2022. You did it.
Thank you, Dr. Harvey. We now come to the most important part of the program, the moment when we recognize each degree recipient. As I mentioned earlier, I'm joined today by Provost Kriegel, who will assist me in the conferral of degrees. As we move through the ceremony, in order that each graduate's name may be clearly heard, please hold your applause until all the master's graduates have been introduced. Then we will give everyone a full round of applause. Graduates, Provost Kriegel and I are happy to shake hands with those of you who are comfortable. We also welcome an elbow bump, a thumbs up, or just a nod of offered congratulations. We'll follow your lead with whatever seems right for you. I now invite Provost Kriegel to come forward. Provost Kriegel, these candidates have completed all the requirements for the degrees Master of Accountancy, Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Computer Science, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Health Administration, Master of Public Affairs, Master of Public Health, Master of Science in Nursing, Master of Social Work, and Education Specialist.
Thank you, Dean Tyne. On the recommendation of the faculty of the Graduate College and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents, State of Iowa, I confer on each of you the degree of Master of Accountancy, Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Computer Science, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Health Administration, Master of Public Affairs, Master of Public Health, Master of Science in Nursing, Master of Social Work, and Education Specialist, qualified and designated.
Thank you, Provost Kriegel. Would the master's degree recipients please come forward to be recognized?
Michael Julius Yomanli Idani, Master of Fine Arts in English.
Sarah Jane Ernster, Master of Social Work.
Jose de Jesus Madrigal Echeverria, Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Marie Grace Ernster, Master of Arts, Library and Information Science.
Scott Austin Clevin, Master of Science in Biostatistics.
Olivia Catherine Waller, Master of Arts, Library and Information Science.
Stephanie Michelle Jansen, Master of Science in Biostatistics.
Amelin Enriquez, Master of Arts, Library and Information Science.
Rachel Caroline Crady, Master of Science in Biostatistics.
Zachary Daniel LeBeuf, Master of Arts, Library and Information Science.
Marissa Callum, Master of Science in Biostatistics.
Elena Gradert, Master of Public Health.
Devin Svalsdorf, Master of Science in Biostatistics.
Chenghee Jing, Master of Science, Dental Public Health.
Jacob William Seedorf, Master of Science in Biostatistics.
Abimbola Muinat Orladoria, Master of Science, Dental Public Health.
Bryce Damon, Master of Science in Biostatistics.
Abigail Christensen, Master of Public Health.
Allison Schutte, Master of Science in Biostatistics.
Clara Marie Young, Master of Public Health.
Kaylee Dempsey Mulligan, Master of Science in Biostatistics.
Sun Lok Win, Master of Science, Informatics.
Reina de Los Angeles Hernandez, Master of Science in Biostatistics.
John Askren, Master of Public Health.
Kyla Jordan Peters, Master of Public Health.
Kyle Bolt, Master of Science, Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Sarah Nazarevic, Master of Public Health.
Hallie Ann Davis, Master of Science, Industrial Engineering.
Carter Cook, Master of Public Health.
Alexis Birkin, Master of Science, Industrial Engineering.
Christine Alyssa Stevens, Master of Public Health.
Margaret Brooks, Master of Arts, Mass Communication.
Emma Ann Meder, Master of Public Health.
Kate Avery, Master of Arts, American Studies.
Claire Marie Rittenhouse, Master of Public Health.
Cecilia Krizda, Master of Arts, Communication Studies.
Courtney Klein, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Danielle Bridges, Master of Arts, Music.
Brooklyn Jazari McClinton, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Sarah DeLong Dewan, Master of Science, Integrated Biology.
Morgan Schmidt Morris, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Nicole Knoll, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Brian Douglas, Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Sydney Bortscheller, Master of Science, Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Nigar Mutalimova, Master of Arts in Business Administration.
Stephen Anthony Flaherty III, Master of Arts, Teaching and Learning.
Ramya Pandurangan, Master of Science in Business Analytics, Master of Science in Finance.
Martel Cartier Bell, Master of Science, Mechanical Engineering.
Cassandra Delgado, Master of Social Work.
Arezu Masood, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Robbie Brewer, Master of Social Work.
Laura Batista Ortega, Master of Public Health.
Melanie Ann Reed, Master of Social Work.
Alicia Che, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Lindsay Schroeder, Master of Social Work.
Alma Young, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Brenda K. Almach, Master of Social Work.
Cecil Town, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Christine Nichols, Master of Social Work.
Amy Elizabeth Curtis, Master of Arts, Educational Policy and Leadership Studies.
Oladipo Amao, Master of Public Health.
Dan Blen, Master of Science, Oral Science.
Jamie Sorensen, Master of Public Health.
Ahmad Alcazala, Master of Science, Oral Science.
Sarah Turnus, Master of Public Health.
Kareem Alaf, Master of Arts, Sport and Recreation Management.
Claire Carlson, Master of Public Health.
Aaron Matthew Bowling, Master of Arts, Sport and Recreation Management.
Kelsey Barrell, Master of Arts in Teaching and Learning.
Taylor Winger, Master of Arts, Sport and Recreation Management.
Allison Ray Stickley, Master of Fine Arts in Literary Translation.
Macy Marie Anderson, Master of Arts, Sport and Recreation Management.
Guadalupe Donaje Zavaleta Vega, Master of Fine Arts in Spanish Creative Writing.
Kirsten Brooke Potter, Master of Science, Teaching and Learning.
Byron Alejandro Sandoval Marroquin, Master of Fine Arts in Spanish Creative Writing.
Ellen Gannett, Master of Arts, Teaching and Learning.
Ala Yusuf Nasaf, Master of Arts in Linguistics.
Caleb Brooks, Master of Public Health.
Mohammed Masood Fredericks, Master of Health Administration.
Benjamin Anand, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Jasenia Elizabeth Juarez, Master of Health Administration.
Zachary Thomas McDaniel, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Francisco Simon Olalde, Master of Health Administration.
Caleb Siegel, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Tina Renee Lansing, Master of Health Administration.
Lauren Riggs, Master of Accountancy.
Heather John, Master of Health Administration.
Danielle Alejandra Charles, Master of Fine Arts, English.
Kayla Marie Frisbee, Master of Art in Teaching and Learning.
Maya Elizabeth Pearson, Master of Fine Arts, English.
Zach Shepard, Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Michael Bilenko, Master of Computer Science.
Armando Luis Reveles, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering.
Scott J. McCallum, Master of Arts, Strategic Communication.
Joseph Boyer, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering.
Savannah Page Rees, Master of Arts, Strategic Communication.
Dylan Africa, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering.
Ashley Josephine Gase, Master of Arts, Strategic Communications.
Gage Weber, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering.
Jesse Miller, Master of Arts, Strategic Communication.
Paige Taylor Holton, Master of Accountancy.
Nakaya Handy, Master of Arts, Strategic Communication.
Allison Broyakers, Master of Accountancy.
Jeffrey Andrew Menaker, Master of Arts, Strategic Communication.
Patience Zahn, Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Mookie Kabani, Master of Arts, Strategic Communication.
Connor Michael Purvis, Master of Science in Biomedical Engineering.
Tanner Dale Osing, Master of Science, Urban and Regional Planning.
Cameron Robert Trentz, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering.
Jackson Wright, Master of Public Affairs.
Matt Hodges, Master of Science in Business Analytics, Master of Science in Finance.
Caleb Smith, Master of Public Affairs.
Shane-Shi Yang, Master of Science in Business Analytics, Master of Science in Finance.
Noel Mills, Master of Public Affairs.
Raymond Voltron, Master of Science in Business Analytics, Master of Science in Finance.
Michaela Ruth Dahlman, Master of Public Affairs.
Maxwell Hedges, Master of Science in Business Analytics, Master of Science in Finance.
Liliane Strankowski, Master of Public Affairs.
Ellie Marie Paul, Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Cami Rasmussen, Master of Public Affairs.
Keenan Daly, Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Calvin Heenick, Master of Science, Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Gage Michael Anderson, Master of Science in Finance.
Michelle Nitschke, Master of Science, Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Nishant Sundaravaradan, Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering.
Elizabeth May Lortz, Master of Science, Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Manila Shinde, Master of Science in Oral Science.
Lucy Dent, Master of Science, Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Maria Alma Martinez, Master of Science in Oral Science.
Richen Liu, Master of Science, Mechanical Engineering.
Sean McKim, Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Joshua Engelbrecht, Master of Science, Urban and Regional Planning.
John Michael Posel, Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Maya Simon, Master of Science, Urban and Regional Planning.
John Kessler, Master of Arts in Linguistics.
Elizabeth Heron, Master of Science, Urban and Regional Planning.
Laura Widman, Master of Arts in Linguistics.
Wael El Safi, Master of Science, Urban and Regional Planning.
Mylene Wanati, Master of Social Work.
Michael Anthony Marciliano, Master of Accountancy.
Olivia Josephine Ritter, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Michael Blazevich, Master of Accountancy.
Brandon Wong, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Joseph Michael Offerman, Master of Accountancy.
Sergey Deptula, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Blake Walton, Master of Accountancy.
Abigail Smith, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
John Marchiori, Master of Science, Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Ling Xiao Li, Master of Arts in Music.
Cade McNeil, Master of Science, Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Reiqian Shang, Master of Arts in Music.
Chihan Bai, Master of Science, Urban and Regional Planning.
Pavlina Vanavska, Master of Fine Arts in Literary Translation.
Megan Renee Clark, Master of Accountancy.
Patricia Robinson, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Emily Nutt, Master of Accountancy.
Sarah Elizabeth Strube, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Derek Freestad, Master of Accountancy.
Gina Marie Payne, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Cole Borwick, Master of Accountancy.
Delaney Woodall, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Claire Burdine Siebens Henry, Master of Accountancy.
Tiffany Louise Thulin, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Samantha Jeanette Swamberger, Master of Accountancy.
Sarah Hugie, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Kelsey Schofield, Master of Accountancy.
Jessica Ann O'Reilly, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Lexi Branneman, Master of Accountancy.
Olivia Madeline Lyman, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Brooke Stout, Master of Accountancy.
Iana Nabia Leach, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Masahiro Kiji, Master of Computer Science.
Alex Rath, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Cody Matz, Master of Accountancy.
Ashley Hernandez Renfro, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Joseph Patrick Mullen, Master of Accountancy.
Catherine McDonald, Master of Public Health.
Jinyung Ding, Master of Science, Finance.
Rebecca Villa, Master of Public Health.
Lillian Arp, Master of Science, Occupational and Environmental Health.
Julia Studer, Master of Public Health.
Anna Rose Proctor, Master of Science, Occupational and Environmental Health.
Alexandra Caroline Mera, Master of Public Health.
Jacob Benjamin Johnson, Master of Science, Occupational and Environmental Health.
Deanna Persons, Master of Science in Epidemiology.
Bennett Canoyer, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Isabella Reyes, Master of Public Health.
Renisha Robichaud, Master of Fine Arts, Art.
Abigail Mary Olson, Master of Public Health.
Taylor James Hedrick, Master of Fine Arts, Art.
Leon Sun, Master of Public Health.
Madison Joe Kling, Master of Arts, Counselor Education.
Tulia Telon Lurel Starks, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Viswanathan Subramanian, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Judith Faye Jones, Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Senthil Gopalakrishnan, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Sienna Rodriguez, Master of Arts in Strategic Communication.
Thiragorajan Sari Rajan, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Caitlin Patricia Henning Phelan, Master of Fine Arts in Dance Choreography.
Nick Duffy, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Darius Legrand Gray, Master of Fine Arts in Dance Performance.
Andrew Juarez, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Nam Hoang Le, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering.
Claretta Holsey, Master of Fine Arts, Literary Translation.
Maura Carr, Master of Science in Informatics.
Vidalia Noel Joshua, Master of Science, Informatics.
Johanna Nanke, Master of Arts in Teaching and Learning.
Zachary Joseph Jakalski, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Anne Celeste McLaughlin Smith, Master of Social Work.
Kara Marie Moon, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Leslie Zagofus, Master of Social Work.
Rachel Madison Renault, Master of Arts, Classics.
Kira Rose Hawley, Master of Social Work.
Kathleen L. Bates, Master of Arts, Library and Information Science.
John Leo, Master of Arts in Sport and Recreation Management.
Elena Jera, Master of Arts, Library and Information Science.
Andrew David Breitfelder, Master of Arts in Sport and Recreation Management.
Olivia Hawkins, Master of Science, Business Analytics, Master of Science, Finance.
Benjamin Douglas Collin, Master of Arts in Sport and Recreation Management.
Dahe Kwan, Master of Science, Business Analytics, Master of Science, Finance.
Samuel Lynn Godsey, Master of Arts in Sport and Recreation Management.
Hobby Timbo, Master of Social Work.
Frank Storniolo, Master of Arts in Sport and Recreation Management.
Courtney Stroman, Master of Arts in Teaching.
Anthony Storniolo, Master of Arts in Sport and Recreation Management.
Natalie Roberto, Master of Arts in Teaching.
Justin Tyler Saborin, Master of Arts in Educational Policy and Leadership Studies.
Andrea Elaine Warhurst, Master of Arts in Teaching.
Madeline Ray Cleese, Master of Social Work.
Benjamin Levi Milton Facio, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Madeline Rose Bunder, Master of Social Work.
William Kellicher, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Alohara de la Cruz King, Master of Social Work.
Mikhail Iab Hailey, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Ellis Bondarowitz, Master of Social Work.
Joseph Sullivan, Master of Accountancy.
Elena Dietz, Master of Social Work.
Austin Clayton, Master of Accountancy.
Bailey Kivett, Master of Social Work.
Yara Mustafa, Master of Accountancy.
Tui Ian Vo, Master of Social Work.
Rosetta Sodawasser, Master of Accountancy.
McKenna Elise Clark, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Jake DeLigi, Master of Accountancy.
Kate Emma Pruss, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Joshua Aaron Yalmas, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Hannah Margaret Rakowski, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Suraj Mohan Saxena, Master of Arts, Philosophy.
Christopher Lang, Master of Arts in Teaching and Learning.
Dalton Hart, Master of Science, Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Carolina Wade, Master of Social Work.
Emily May Fiedler, Master of Arts, Educational Policy and Leadership Studies.
Jordan Dallas Taylor Van Winkle, Master of Social Work.
Megan Merritt Lighting, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Anne Elizabeth Stubing, Master of Social Work.
Alethea Kopolas, Master of Science, Geoscience.
Paige Marie Green, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Thomas Bradley Doyle, Master of Science, Geoscience.
Emily Marie Sones, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Haley Murphy, Master of Arts, Linguistics.
Jordan Bruncheon, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Wesley Charles Martin, Master of Arts, Linguistics.
Trey David Bronner, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Nicholas Young, Master of Arts, Sport and Recreation Management.
Hannah Hall Petit, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Trenton Ray Teskey, Master of Arts, Music Education.
Madison Morleen Ruhlman, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Jorge Luis Calderon, Master of Public Health.
Abigail Zoller, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Cam Marsingale, Master of Public Health.
Amanda Rose Nichols, Master of Arts in Counselor Education.
Veronica Lauren Smith, Master of Public Health.
Taylor Greider, Master of Social Work.
Elizabeth Sadoff, Master of Public Health.
Yiran Lee, Master of Fine Arts in Art.
Maya Marie Davis, Master of Public Health.
Joshua Dean Marcus, Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering.
Anna Correa, Master of Public Health.
Lucas Spain, Master of Computer Science.
Sophie Dollison, Master of Public Health.
Moritz Schildorfer, Master of Computer Science.
Haley Marie Wilson, Master of Public Health.
Dan Junis, Master of Arts in Linguistics.
Amber Hagman, Master of Public Health.
Guy Meyer, Master of Arts in Linguistics.
Sujin Yang, Master of Public Health.
Matthew McClavey, Master of Science in Business Analytics.
Ryan David Kinnip, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Natasha Schrader, Master of Arts in Political Science.
Olivia Brooks, Master of Public Health.
Jennifer Valdez, Master of Science in Integrated Biology.
Stephanie Lynn Otsky, Master of Public Health.
Alexis Garrett, Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering.
Alexis Farian, Master of Public Health.
Alexis Cindy Oakley, Master of Arts in Psychological and Quantitative Foundations.
Carlos Manuel Lopez Soria, Master of Arts, Music.
Jocelyn Rosen, Master of Health Administration.
Claire Cagey, Master of Social Work.
Sarah Reckling, Master of Health Administration.
Morgan Oliver, Master of Social Work.
Nicholas Wilson, Master of Health Administration.
Hannah White, Master of Science, Occupational and Environmental Health.
Ashton Harris, Master of Health Administration.
Rebecca Herchus, Master of Science, Occupational and Environmental Health.
Matthew Paul Reitzel, Master of Arts in Teaching and Learning.
Skylar Alexandria Romasanta, Master of Science, Occupational and Environmental Health.
Monica Vree, Master of Arts in Art History.
Ashley Elizabeth Anderson, Master of Science, Occupational and Environmental Health.
Troy Trafton, Master of Arts in Library and Information Science.
Kelsey Renee Strandberg, Master of Science, Occupational and Environmental Health.
Mitchell Riley Carlson, Master of Science in Biomedical Engineering.
Kevin Knorschild, Master of Science, Biomedical Engineering.
Trevor Dean Kurtzhals, Master of Science in Industrial Engineering.
Connor McKee, Master of Science, Business Analytics.
Brandon Murphy, Master of Science in Industrial Engineering.
Mudasir Ashraf, Master of Science, Clinical Investigation.
Joseph McCullough Eberly, Master of Science in Industrial Engineering.
Claire Beth Morris, Master of Science in Nursing.
Jack Cunningham, Master of Science in Industrial Engineering.
Sarah Hackbarth, Master of Science in Nursing.
Wendy Millis, Master of Arts in History.
Jessica Sheever, Master of Science in Nursing.
Alex Pang, Master of Computer Science.
Lynette Schaefer, Master of Science in Nursing.
Iman Ahmed, Master of Health Administration.
Angela Shanahan, Master of Science in Nursing.
Sarah Gertz, Master of Health Administration.
Jenna Lisk, Master of Science in Nursing.
Alejandro Patino, Master of Health Administration.
Kaylin Hoffman, Master of Science in Nursing.
Alexandra Thorpe, Master of Health Administration.
Carrie Beth Dukaman, Master of Science in Nursing.
Laura Lynn Kramer, Master of Health Administration.
Samira Abdallah, Master of Public Health.
Alexis Clark, Master of Health Administration.
Nathan Ferguson, Master of Fine Arts, Theater Arts.
Laura Olds, Master of Health Administration.
Bridget Lee Fenger, Master of Science, Athletic Training.
Corey Thomas, Master of Health Administration.
Peter Lundak, Master of Science, Athletic Training.
Quincy Markham, Master of Health Administration.
Elia Farias, Master of Arts, Educational Policy and Leadership Studies.
Holagde Temitorkipe Obe, Master of Science in Oral Science.
Derek Gepner, Master of Arts, Anthropology.
Kendall Martin, Master of Arts in Strategic Communication. Hannah Lauren Albertson, Master of Science in Health and Human Physiology. Amanda Melissa Grabsky, Master of Science in Health and Human Physiology. Samantha Elizabeth Backrack, Master of Science in Health and Human Physiology. Taylor Joanne Belk, Master of Science in Health and Human Physiology. Brianna Michelle Crouch, Master of Science in Health and Human Physiology. Carson Kurth, Master of Science in Health and Human Physiology. Julia Tomer, Master of Science in Health and Human Physiology. Lauren Dexter, Master of Science in Health and Human Physiology. Emma Sidney Rohn, Master of Science in Health and Human Physiology. Nisreen Basalat, Master of Arts in Linguistics. Alyssa Parker, Master of Arts in Teaching and Learning. Mallory Marion Park, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Madison Wilder Kraler, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Haley Verdick, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Haley Vaughn, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Thea Sue Cornwell, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Maggie McGrath, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Bethany Grace Frederick, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Mary Catherine Nevins, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Jackie Cano, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Haley Renee Madura, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Anna Rose Tully, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Megan Wickham, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Mary Elizabeth Willey, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Anna Irene Sagan, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Kristen Marie Highland, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Alexis Danielle Mansour, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Madeline Nardoci, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Emily Forsyth, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Anushka Ladad, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Hannah Carey Henderson, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Laurel Elaine Coddington, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Lexi Keegan, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology. Danielle Ernest, Master of Arts in Speech Pathology and Audiology.
Congratulations, everyone. You have a really big fan club. It's now my pleasure to ask one of our newly minted master's degree recipients, Michael Julius Idani, to say a few words on behalf of his peers. After we hear from Michael Julius, Provost Kriegel will give a send-off to conclude the ceremony. After Provost Kriegel's closing remarks, we would appreciate it if everyone would remain in their seats until the end of the recessional.
All right. Good evening. I'll step back for a second. All right. On behalf of the graduates, I want to thank everyone that made today's celebration possible. Thank you to the faculty, administrators, and staff that contributed to our learning experience. Thank you to the public safety officers, healthcare workers, maintenance workers, food workers, and bus drivers and cleaners, and all of those that contributed to our learning experience and our living experience. I want to especially thank our families who have supported and sacrificed for us throughout our educational journeys. We appreciate you, we honor you, and we love you. I'm honored to stand before you today as a graduate of the University of Iowa. For the past few years, during a pandemic, we have been challenged academically, socially, physically, and emotionally. Many of us began our Iowa experience virtually, on Zoom, and I'm so happy that we were able to end it together, in person, in celebration. To my fellow graduates, today is a milestone. It is neither the beginning nor the end of our journeys, but a waypoint, a moment for us to mark our accomplishments, evaluate our decisions, and make choices. Many years ago, I sat in similar foldable plastic chairs in a stadium a little bigger than this one at my undergraduate commencement. At the time, I struggled with my decision to attend graduate school rather than to start earning an income. I'd been offered a job opportunity that would pay me more money than I ever imagined I could earn at such a young age. This was a frightening and consequential choice for me. I'd grown up the child of an immigrant mother who struggled to find stability in our new homeland. We were often food and housing insecure. We stayed in homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters, and on several occasions we were separated. I was shuffled between institutional facilities and foster homes. Somehow, through our traumas and our obstacles, we survived and we thrived. But we had no safety net. Presented with a job opportunity that would help me create that safety net, I turned it down. Something inside me told me that this was not my path, and I listened. 2 weeks into my graduate school experience, 2 planes flew into the World Trade Center. On the phone, my mother and I sat in shock, listened, and cried as we watched the towers collapse. You see, the offices of the job that I turned down were in Tower 1. I'm thankful that I listened. I am here because I listened. I encourage all of you, graduates, families, attendees, to listen. Listen for truth, justice, fear, and courage. Listen for what is and is not said. Listen with respect, humility, grace, and attention. Listen with openness, kindness, compassion, and care. Listen with gratitude. Listen without judgment, contradiction, or correction. Listen without discounting, dismissing, or second-guessing. Listen to those who love you and those who don't. Listen to your family, your faith, and your culture. Listen to the old and to the young. Listen to your ancestors and to your history. Listen to your wants, needs, successes, failures, and dreams. Listen to your conscience. Listen to your goals, reservations, ambitions, and disappointments. Listen to your body. Listen to the words and sounds that surround you. Listen to advice and feedback. Listen to praise and criticism. Listen to your journey, to your waypoints, your decisions, and your choices. I encourage you, all of you, to listen. We may not remember every detail of this shared moment. Who handed us our diplomas, who congratulated us, who hugged us, or even who sat beside us. We may not recall the music that we heard, what our graduate gown smelled like, or what the speaker said to us exactly. But I do hope that deep within your DNA, in the person that you will become, that you listen to the world around you and the world within you. I hope that your listening brings you more success, more celebration. I hope that it brings you more clarity and more motivation. I hope your listening brings you more joy and more peace. Graduates and family, congratulations again, and I thank you for listening. Cheers.
Thank you, Michael, Julius. Well done, very well done. So, I'm the person standing between you and your celebrations. So, this will be very brief. To family members and friends here today, I just want to say again, thank you for all the support you've given, for all the sacrifices you've made to help these graduates arrive to this day. And thank you for being here to be part of this very special moment in their lives. I'm sure this day you will never forget, because I know how proud you are of your graduates and what they've accomplished. I want you to know the Graduate College and the university wholeheartedly share your pride. This is what we work for, to see our students reach their goals and go off to make their mark in the world. To the faculty and staff who've been helping these students, the teachers, mentors, coaches, and for all of us who have had the privilege of watching what these graduates have been able to achieve, this is a joyful day. Graduates, it's been such a pleasure to commemorate this occasion with you. You deserve every moment of celebration for your hard work. But as we celebrate and bring this commencement to a close, I'd like to send you off thinking not about what you finished, but really what about you've just begun. As wonderful as this evening of celebration is, what's most exciting is really the journey that lies ahead of you. Wherever that journey may take you, as you put your talent and your drive to work in your chosen fields and in the service of your communities, not to mention the excellent education and experience you have under your belt, there is no question you are going to make a positive difference in this world. And you're going to make us very proud to claim you as University of Iowa alumni. The University of Iowa community joins me in wishing you the very best in all that lies ahead of you. This concludes the ceremony. I ask you to please remain in your seats as the platform group recesses. Good evening.